You new Dallas fans and niggas, y'all gonna block me today. Yeah, y'all gonna block me today. Montana 700 fans, y'all bitch ass niggas gonna block me today. Check this out. Man, I'm just seeing a post that a nigga made about Lil Bro. No. We ain't finna do that, say, thug. I don't know what's going on with the internet, just popping they shit about him. Y'all ain't been playing with him. Don't start playing with him. I don't know what's going on with y'all. Just cause Lil Bro on tour, that don't mean things changed up around this. Niggas still got structure going on, so I don't know what the going on. Montana hollering about, oh, you should have listened to that nigga and listened to that. As nigga, you could go be with that nigga. Wrong with a nigga, man. You know, we still putting shit up for cuz, man. Ain't nothing safe.
It looks like the tension between Montana 700 and NBA YoungBoy is finally reaching a breaking point, and this time, it's getting dangerous. What started as quiet tension in the Dallas hip-hop scene has now turned into something way more serious. Montana 700 has been taking shots at NBA YoungBoy for years. Old clips, new dices, subtle jabs, you name it. But recently, those old videos started resurfacing online, and let's just say, YoungBoy's camp didn't take it lightly. See, you can only keep poking at someone who actually has the power to clap back for so long. When you do, you better be ready for the smoke. Stay tuned, because things are about to get wild, and the story behind it all might be deeper and more calculated than it looks on the surface. How it all started. Before we break down what's been happening recently, let's rewind a bit and understand how this whole beef started. Montana 700 has been grinding in the rap game for a minute. He's always been loud, confident, and unfiltered, but for years, he's been throwing subliminal shots at YoungBoy. Sometimes it was in his lyrics, other times in IG posts or live clips. At first, nobody really caught on because the dices were slick, hidden behind coded language, little inside references that only certain people in the culture could decode. But if you know hip-hop, you know how this goes. The streets always catch on eventually. And as for NBA YoungBoy, you already know who we're talking about. One of the biggest artists out the South. Baton Rouge legend. Streaming numbers through the roof, loyal fan base, and serious influence both inside and outside the music industry. When you're on that level, nothing escapes your radar. You hear every diss, every sneak comment, every subliminal, even if it's coming from another city. And with YoungBoy, it's not just about music. He's got connections, loyalty, and reach that stretch far beyond the mic.so. When old clips of Montana talking slick started circulating again, that wasn't just random internet drama. That was a spark in a room full of gasoline.
Doing all type of hoe shit, nigga. G-Money been said you was a hoe, nigga. Finna get on that Fredo shit, nigga. Stamp you niggas. Nah, for real.
Some of this content had been floating around the internet for years. Just sitting there, collecting dust in the digital world. But recently, something changed. Those old clips didn't just stay buried. They came back to life. Suddenly, they started showing up everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. The whole social media ecosystem started pushing them again. And that's when things got real. See, it's not always about new dices being created. Sometimes it's the old ones resurfacing that cause the biggest waves. When forgotten content suddenly becomes relevant again, that can be way more dangerous. Because when a clip comes back like that, it usually isn't random. It often means someone's intentionally pushing it, trying to remind the internet and the people involved of what was said. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. And once those old clips started circulating again, it forced a reaction from YoungBoy's camp. In the streets and in hip-hop, silence can look like weakness. If someone's disrespecting you publicly and you don't respond, people start assuming you're scared or that you don't care enough to defend your name. But YoungBoy, his whole image is built on respect, control, and power. He's known for being a man who handles his business. So when Montana's clip started going viral again, it became clear something had to be addressed. That's when we started seeing what insiders call the checks. And no, we're not talking about money. We're talking about YoungBoy's people, his close associates, checking Montana directly. Clips began to surface of folks from YB circles sending a message. We see you. We hear you. And you need to understand that's disrespectful. These confrontations weren't random. They weren't emotional outbursts. They were calculated moves meant to send one clear message. We don't play about YoungBoy. Lil Pap steps in. Now here's where things really changed. Because when Lil Pap got involved, the whole situation hit a new level. If you don't know who Lil Pap is, let's just say he's not some random dude online. He's tied to YoungBoy's circle in real ways. He moves with YB's energy, represents that crew, and holds serious credibility in that space. S.O. and Montana kept testing the limits, dropping more dices, pushing harder. Lil Pap responded, and his response wasn't subtle. He said, "We still killing for YoungBoy." Now, that line right there, that's not just internet talk. That's coded language in hip-hop culture. It's not just a flex for social media. It's a statement of loyalty and warning wrapped into one. What he's really saying is, this man, YoungBoy, still has people ready to move for him. He's got a circle that's loyal, organized, and ready to ride if you keep disrespecting. That's when this whole thing stopped being about rap and became about something way more serious at that moment. Even people in the industry started paying attention, because that kind of language isn't metaphorical anymore. It's a boundary being drawn, a signal that the situation is teetering on something real, something dangerous. What most people miss. Here's what most people on the internet don't understand. When beef like this starts heating up, there are always two layers. There's a public drama, the dices, the posts, the viral clips, and then there's what happened behind the scenes, where the real decisions are made. That YoungBoy's team isn't reacting emotionally. They're responding strategically. Think about it. YoungBoy is one of the biggest names in hip-hop right now. If he wanted to, he could respond directly, drop a line in a song, and instantly blow this whole thing up. But he's not doing that. Instead, his people, guys like Lil Pap, handle it for him. That's not weakness. That's strategy. It's showing that YoungBoy has reach, structure, and control. He doesn't need to say a word. His presence is felt through his network. That's power, real power. Meanwhile, Montana's playing a completely different game. He's still building his name, try to get recognition, try and pull eyes his way to S.O. from a business perspective. The more he dices YoungBoy, the more attention he gets, the more engagement, the more conversation around his name. That's risky. But in his position, controversy equals visibility. And in this game, visibility is everything. Montana's strategy might be working to get his name out there. But from a survival standpoint, it's a dangerous game to play. Because when you step back and really look at the power dynamics here, things get complicated. See, modern rap beef isn't just about who's the better rapper, who's got the best bars, or who can win a lyrical battle. Nah, it's about who's got the most to lose and who's willing to go the furthest. And when it comes to that, NBA YoungBoy is sitting on top of everything: fame, money, respect, and an entire organization behind him. He's got a lot to protect. So his moves are measured, controlled, and strategic. But Montana, he's still climbing, still building, which means he might feel like he's got nothing to lose. And that's what makes him dangerous. That kind of mindset is what turns words into real-life consequences. That's how situations spiral beyond what anybody originally planned. How the rest of hip-hop is watching. Real recognizes real. And the industry is definitely paying attention. Because this isn't just entertainment. This is a blueprint moment. How YoungBoy's camp handles this situation sends a message to everyone else watching. This is how we move. This is how we respond to disrespect. And this is what happens when you keep pushing. Artists in Dallas, artists across the South, artists everywhere, they're watching closely. Some are thinking, would I take the same risk Montana did? Or would I recognize the power structure and step back? That's the kind of real calculation happening behind the scenes right now. And remember, when someone from YoungBoy's circle, like Lil Pap, says, "We still killing for YoungBoy," people in the know understand exactly what that means. They know the history, the connections, and the capability behind those words. That's not random talk. That's a reminder, a way of saying, we've already proven what we're capable of. And when it comes from someone with Lil Pap's credibility, those words carry serious weight. What happens next? Now, the question everyone's asking, where does this go from here? Does Montana back off? Does he keep pushing? Or does something happen that nobody's prepared for? Here's the reality. Montana's in a tough spot. If he backs off, it might look like weakness. His fans might see it as unfolding. But if he keeps pressing forward, he's playing with fire, Risking his safety, his brand, and possibly his career, that's a trap. There's no winning move for Montana right now. Because in the psychological game, YoungBoy's camp already won. They made their point clear. Montana knows what a line is, and now it's on him whether he respects it or not. The bigger picture. This whole situation is a real-time example of how power works in hip-hop, that it's not always about talent. It's not always about who can rap the hardest. Sometimes it's about leverage, about who's got the bigger machine behind them and who's bold enough to use it. And that's what makes this moment so telling. The streets have been talking about it for months. Everyone knows something's brewing. The only question is whether it stays at the confrontation level or crosses into something darker. Because once that line is crossed, once it moves from social media to real life, it stops being entertainment. It becomes danger. The real issue. At the end of the day, this is about ego, respect, and survival. Montana 700 is a talented artist, no doubt. But he's trying to build his brand off challenging someone way bigger than him. That's a risky play. And it only works if you've got leverage in YoungBoy's team. They're making sure the world knows. They're handling this with discipline and message control. They don't need to shout. Their presence alone send the warning. But when phrases like, "we still killing for YoungBoy" start circulating, that's when it stops being a music feud and starts walking into dangerous territory. For Montana, the next move could define his entire career or end it. For YoungBoy's side, the message has already been sent loud and clear. Now the only question is, does it stay in music or does it spill into something we can't take back? Because this isn't just rap anymore. This is real life playing out in real time with real consequences. And for the culture, it's a reminder that in today's world, content never dies, words carry weight, and respect still means everything.